If we are looking for something in comparison to Chvrches, this duo might be one of those. What's up mga ka-EKSENA? Welcome to my world.
Welcome to my world.
Elmar's World, where we vlog about music and subculture in our local scene here in the Philippines, or what we call OPM. It has been a while mga ka-EKSENA, and it takes a new album, Screen Violence by Chvrches, to drop off until I upload this new video. But this is not an album review. This is the 7th episode of our If You Listen series after its indefinite hiatus. Now in this video, we're gonna talk about synth-pop. Now what is synth-pop, by the way? Synth-pop is a subgenre of new wave music that initially became unmistakable in the last part of the 1970s and provisions the synthesizer as the predominant instrument. It was prefigured during the 1960s and mid-1970s by the utilization of synthesizers in reformist tone, electronic, workmanship rock, disco, and especially the krautrock of groups like Kraftwerk. It emerged as an unmistakable class in Japan and the United Kingdom in the post-punk period as a component of the new wave development of the last part of the 1970s to the mid-1980s. Synth-pop is some of the time utilized conversely with electropop. However, electropop may likewise mean a variation of synth-pop that places more accentuation on a harder, more electronic sound. In the mid to late 1980s, pairs, for example, Erasure and Pet Shop Boys, took on a style that was exceptionally effective on the US dance diagrams. Yet before the decade's over, the new wave synth fly of groups, for example AHA and Alphaville, was offering approach to house music, and techno interest in new wave synth pop started to restore in the indie-tronica and electro-clash developments in the last part of the 1990s. And during the 2000s, synth pop partook in a far-reaching restoration and business achievement. The class has gotten analysis for supposed absence of feeling and musicianship. Conspicuous craftsmen have taken a stand in opposition to doubters who accepted that synthesizers themselves made and played the tunes. Synth-pop music has set up a spot for the synthesizer as a significant component of popular and awesome music, straightforwardly impacting ensuing classifications, and has in a roundabout way affected numerous different sorts just as individual accounts. The use of synthesizers as an essential component used by musicians have been predominant since the 1960s. Bands such as Pink Floyd also used synthesizers to create that atmospheric, eerie, sometimes ambient or psychedelic dreamy feel into their music. But there is nothing more prominent when it comes to modern synth-pop rather than this modern trio. Yeah, you got it right. Chvrches. Chvrches, stylized as CHVRCHES and articulated as Chvrches, are a Scottish synth-pop triplet from Glasgow. Framed in September 2011, band comprises of Lauren Mayberry, Lane Cook, Martin Doherty, and informally since 2018, Johnny Scott, mostly getting from the synth-pop class. Chvrches likewise fuse indie-tronica, independent pop, and electronic dance into their sound. Their album, The Bones of What You Believe, had been a breakthrough success. They've just recently dropped their album, Screen Violence, an awesome synth-pop take on horror themes. Make sure you check it out if you want to. Now before we begin, I would just like to tell you that the bands that I'm going to talk about in this video are mainly recommendations. Some of them are popular, in my opinion are similar to the aforementioned artists and not being considered rip-offs by any means. If you know of any Pinoy synth-pop artists / bands that are not on this list, let me know down in the comments section below. Shout out to all Chvrches fans. Now if you listen to Chvrches, you should check out these bands. Talk about Forbes Spades in my previous video, but the current vocalist Zil Benitez had a synth-pop duo side project called Manila Magic. There's not much of an information about this band except this one from scoutmag.ph that says a Manila Magic comeback might be on the horizon. It was around 2016 when we heard the remainder of electronic pop couple Manila Magic. The pair, made out of individuals Chvrches and Zil Benitez, had recently delivered a music video for their hit single In the Night and racked countless perspectives. However, from that point, the young men sunk into their different undertakings. Tim on One Click Straight and Zild on Forbes Spades. And now Zild has gone solo with his album Homework Machine, and just recently, Huminga. But still, we anticipate a comeback of Manila Magic.
Oh, sumigaw, damdamin ko minsan nali.
Synth-pop sprung from the new wave music of the 80s, which is pioneered by bands such as Depeche Mode, AHA, Joy Division. If you're into those classic retro vibe, then you might as well like Bryson. Bryson is an electro-pop rock outfit from Manila, Philippines shaped in 2012, whose sound has an 80s propelled synth fly with irresistible guitar snares. The band has been acting in the gig circuit and different celebrations all through the country. They dispatched their EP Viewpoints in March 2014, highlighted as Artists of the Month for Radio Republic. Bryson delivered their first collection, Limerence, in April 2016. Some of their singles that gained traction are Muted in Color, Unplanned, Baliwala, Hagkan, and Siglon, which featured Andy Eigenman on the video. It's not a goth band, but they are aesthetically. Number 3 on this list is an electronic duo with a female singer named Sarah Gogler. Turbogoth is a New York City-based electronic duo from the Philippines. If we are looking for something in comparison to Chvrches, this duo might be one of those. But when it comes to their synth sensibility, this duo's sound is more of an experimental and more rock and roll take on the electronic genre, making it more of an indie vibe that matches their overall aesthetic. The dark undertones in their music can be more obvious eventually. Turbogoth is a New York City-based electronic rock duo from the Philippines. Formed in 2008, Turbogoth is composed of Sarah Gogler on lead vocals and Paulo Peralta on guitar/electronic sampler. They were originally the only electronic rock duo in the Philippines at the time. Turbogoth's music is semi-experimental electronic music with distorted bass synths backed by aggressive heavy beats and guitars, stitched together by light vocals. Turbogoth has had numerous performances in the Philippines and at music festivals in Asia. But after their show at South by Southwest in 2014, they decided to relocate for a broader audience, finding a new home in New York by the end of that year. Turbogoth's notable international performances are 2011 Bay Beats Music Festival in Singapore, 2012 Kama Festival in Hanoi, Vietnam. Turbogoth opens for OMD Manila 2012 at the Araneta Coliseum, 2014 South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, 2015 CMJ Music Marathon in Brooklyn, New York, 2016 Move Music Festival in Albany, 2016 Northside Music Festival, Brooklyn, New York, 2016 Indie Week, Toronto, Canada, and SXSW 2017 Official Showcasting Artist. Turbogoth released Master Force in November of 2020. Sarah Gogler is also featured in the MV of Archipelago's song Lumapit. Number 2 on this list is a female solo electronic musician whom worked with the now popular No Rome, BP Valenzuela, and here is her biography from Spotify. Filipino singer, songwriter, and producer BP Valenzuela makes music from her bedroom. She writes about interiority of colossal emotions that begin in small spaces, growing and growing until there's nothing left for them to become but sung. Rhythms that ricochet from wall to wall, synths that leave you soaring, words whispered along to by a crowd, as if all privy to this one immense secret. BP has been making music since she was teen. She released her first single, Building, in 2013. BP used E.E. Cummings' My Love is Building a Building as a jumping-off point for the dreamy, ethereal ode to yearning. Building later appeared on her debut EP, Beep, B/EP, in 2014, which also included The General Scheme of Things and Second Nature. A year later, she released her debut album, The Neon Hour, a luminous journey through pop beats and falling in love. The album featured singles Pretty Car, Steady, and Building 2. In the same year, BP performed at the Wonderland Music and Arts Festival. In 2017, BP released 3 singles off her upcoming sophomore record, Cry Dancer. The Slinky Sweet Baby Girl, featuring August Wa and No Rome, was a radio hit. The Morning Cards, featuring Crown, followed a sonic deluge that inundates you with emotion. A Floor Filler with Feelings, Minimize, featuring Nick Lazaro, is the 3rd single from Cry Dancer. BP has a group called Half-Lit, which just recently dropped their ambient record, Paradigm Shift, which you might want to check. The link will be on the description.
Building, see the mess made on the pavement. I really wish you didn't have to make me feel like this.
Not the dance move, but moonwalk like Chvrches is an electro-pop trio composed of Nicolas Lazaro for synths and vocals, Marge Rojas for vocals, and Charles Villanueva for drums. Not much of an information about them except the recent news of the departure of co-founder and vocalist Gabby Buencamino, and replaced by a former garage morning singer Marge Rojas. They've released 2 full-length albums entitled 2012 on 2014 and Of the Bed on 2016. Everything that makes synth-pop as it is, synth-pop, is what made them my top pick in comparison to Chvrches. The electronic sensibilities, the lively tunes, which you might hear on a mall somewhere, is what describes this band's sound. Synth-pop counterculturally may not be accepted, but in a modern sense, the innovations that synthesizers can do to give that distinct feel that sometimes is perceptive and hallucinogenic is of great significance to have that modernity we can look for in the music scene. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Now if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, comment down for a shout out, share, follow me on my socials, the link will be down below in the descriptions. Subscribe to my channel and click the bell button for more updates on my upcoming videos. If you want to know more about the music scene here in the Philippines, you can watch my other videos here and here. That's it for this video. I'll see you next time.